what people often like about your work is you kind of have the genetic side of things, i.e. talking about how it comes about, what influences irrationality, etc. And then, for example, in Predictably Irrational, you go, well, here's a way we can try and remedy, if not solve, this bias. So what sort of things do you think can be helpful to remedy people in your hopefully helpful as opposed to solutions section?
So the book, the funnel of misbelief is broken into 4 components: emotion, stress, and the point there is that stress is the breeding ground for misbeliefs. And I don't mean the stress of saying, oh my goodness, I'm so busy, I don't know how I'll finish today. I'm talking about the stress of saying, I don't understand the world. I don't understand how can this be going on, right? I don't understand why I'm not getting my share. I don't understand why I got fired and other people don't. I don't understand why my company went bankrupt, why I got fired when other people don't. Like there's some big things I don't understand how the world is working. And by the way, now I think we're in a very complex period in this regard, that we just don't understand the world, right? Like think about the war in Gaza. Like, who is really fighting? Is Iran involved? Is Syria involved? Is Russia connected? Are we on the verge of a third world war? Is this a local issue? Very, very complex and unclear and frightening. So that's the breeding ground. That's the breeding ground. The second part we say is cognitive. The third part is personality, and the last one is social. So personality is a little hard to change, but let's start with the first component of stress. So look, when COVID rolls around, there's a lot of stress, and with some of it we can't handle. Like some of it we can't do anything about, but some of it we could. For example, what instructions do we give people? Do we tell people, every day I'll tell you what we'll do tomorrow? That's very stress-inducing. Nobody knows how to move forward. Do we tell people there's nothing you can do? Very stress invoking.
Yeah.
So there are things we can do in that regard. But there's also the question of resilience. If you think about what is the antidote to stress, the antidote to stress is resilience. And resilience, we're at the all-time low in terms of resilience. And the reason is that we have less and less physical, close relationship with others. By the way, men are worse at this than women. COVID, of course, we were separated, so it was harder to create resilience. Kids who didn't go to school lost a lot from this perspective. But also think like identity politics is separating us. Just think about when you get to talk to friends, how many topics are we not talking about, not sharing? And there's a lot of topics that people don't share. But for example, there was a story, I think in the Atlantic, that they said that American men are more likely to talk about challenges with erections and Viagra than about credit card debt. If somebody is struggling with credit card debt, you would want them to ask for help and so on. And income inequality, by the way, is fraying resilience. The moment income inequality increases, even at the level of a neighborhood, people are less likely to ask for help.
Do you not think that people are becoming a bit more open in terms of what they talk about than, for example, in the 40s? Do you not think people are becoming a bit more open about things like sexuality and with their friends, this idea of like men being closed up, I feel has changed a little bit. So I'm just like to push back a little bit on that.
First of all, feel free to push back, but no, I don't think it's true. Okay. I think we pretend it's true. Okay. I think especially in the left, we pretend we're more open. But I think the openness is very limited to specific topics. I think the cancel culture, taboo about specific topics are very much present. In fact, we see that conversations with minorities, people are so much afraid to bring a few topics that the style of conversation is changing. But also remember, if we talk about the 40s, that men used to, let's say, work in a factory, just to give a stereotype, and then they used to go to the bar with their friends. There was time with friends. In fact, time with friends is a very, very low level. The nuclear family has increased a lot in terms of time, and again, stereotypes, but the women who were not working spent time with their friends. If you look at the nuclear family now, people are working longer hours. It's not they spend necessarily more quality time with their kids, but there's certainly less time with friends. Now most people schedule time to meet with friends, right? It's not let's go after work and we'll. So yes, even so I think part of it is even when you get together with friends, I think it's much more restricted than you realize. I think we have the illusion of openness, but then the other thing is that we have fewer friends and less time with friends and so on. So when that's why there's not one solution. Like one solution is to say, how do we make stress? How do we not increase stress with the way we communicate things and the way we plan things and so on? The other one is, how do we build society that could deal better with stress? And we haven't done well